Now, post-match, Ospreay took the microphone and put over Buddy Murphy. He corrected himself and said, oops, Buddy Matthews. Ospreay admired Matthews, and he said that he and Brody don't need to be following a leader. They can go about things all by themselves. Brody King and Buddy Matthews can go for the tag team titles, or they could go both and go singles championships if they choose. And if they need someone by his side, Ospreay is his man. And they shook hands, and Ospreay went to the back. Now, there was a report that came out tonight from Fightful Select in regards to the third member of House of Black, and that's Malakai Black. Ospreay said what he said here tonight, and this led to much inquiry, says Sapp, regarding Malakai's status in AEW, because Ospreay said, you don't need to be following anybody. You guys can go do it on your own. Those that we spoke to in the company, said Fightful, were of the belief that he was finishing up with AEW if he has not already. They did not clarify if he'd be appearing on television again. So that is the latest on Malakai, Jesse.
Now, look, we've seen this story before.
Yes.
In different companies. We've heard the rumors that Tommy End is leaving and he's going to go somewhere else. And then Tommy comes out and he puts us out a video on IG or wherever saying that you should stop listening to dirt sheets, and when something's going on with me, you'll hear it from me, and that's that. He's done that more than twice. All right? So I'm not going to listen to Sapp or anyone else in regards to this particular story. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that Brody King has been wrestling solo. Okay? That is a fact. I'm not getting that from Fightful. I'm going to say Buddy Matthews is wrestling solo. I'm going to say Julia Hart just came back and she's wrestling solo. And Malakai has not been seen on television at all. So I'm going to use my own deduction and say something is definitely afoot as it pertains to Tommy and Malakai Black, Aleister Black. Something is going on.
Very true. I do think that this could be the end of his run. And I'm going to be brutally honest with Malakai and Tony Khan and AEW. Malakai, the only thing that I genuinely remember from his entire time in the company is his initial debut where he gave Black Mass to Cody Rhodes. That's it. The man has done nothing of note and nothing of value and nothing of importance since the day he debuted and the win over Cody twice, I believe. That's it. That's it.
He's actually at the end of this. If this is the end of his run here, at the end of the day, he had a better run in WWE. And I say that simply because I know that he was given the creative freedom to do a little bit, more different things here, but they kept start, stopping. This looks good. We like this. It goes away. This is weird. We don't see him. He's in, he's out. He's just been inconsistently booked from the day that he started here. And he really never got a chance to get any momentum. No kind of singles feuds, nothing of interest. Just, it was a complete washout. It was a complete waste, and no one knows why, because the guy is amazing.
He is a legit, if they book him right, a main event guy. The presentation that was in black and gold on NXT was fucking perfect. Vince dropped the ball with him, and we all know why Vince killed NXT talent, because Vince had nothing to do with the creation of any of those characters on NXT. It was all Paul Levesque. So when they made the main roster, they were properly killed off because Vince knew of all the recognition that Triple H was getting on NXT, and he sought to kill everything that came out of there, no matter what, which I found very bizarre because Triple H was only trying to help the company be better, and Vince wanted all the success to come from him and himself. That's it, and his team. He wanted nothing to do with Triple H making the company better. Fact. And I've documented this for years, and if you're not on board with that yet, go find somebody else to fucking blow smoke up your ass. So, secondly, AEW never wanted Malakai, Jesse, from the day that it was rumored that he wanted to go back to WWE. As soon as that rumor and those reports and all those quotes and the fans were talking, Tony got wind of that, never did anything with Malakai. He maybe pushed them here and just had them on a very, very short leash and always pulled them back. And according to, those people who you talk to, Malakai saw Triple H wanted to, kind of get in on with the creative. He's seen that Triple H took over and everybody that left wanted to go back there. It's common knowledge. And they might not outwardly tell you that, but everybody knows that to be the truth. So when Tony found that out, he wasn't going to do anything with Malakai. He'd just keep him on the contract just like he has Ricky Starks and Wardlow and Camille and all these other fucking people that he's not using, Ray Phoenix, and just keep the Phoenix and keep them on his payroll to do nothing and keep them ice cold, ice them. So Malakai, he is in a position right now where the company didn't want him. Malakai knew the company didn't want him, and it was just a volatile partnership. AEW was not going to help Malakai. Malakai didn't want to help AEW when he found out what was really going on, and he came off that he didn't really even give a shit. He didn't want to help the company anyway. He was just doing what he was asked to do and hopefully ride this shit out and be as professional as possible. And now we're in a situation where if he does end up in WWE, he could potentially be in the Rumble. He could potentially be integrated into WrestleMania season. And I swear to God, when he's back on television over there, because that's exactly where he's going, because his wife is over there, he's going to feel like and look like a different human being. The body language from Malakai for the last 3 years has been of a person that does not want to work there because he knows it's going nowhere. All I can say is I hope he's happy. I hope he's fucking completely healthy because I know he had that back issue, and I hope he finds happiness again, and we are all on his side, and we all want to see him succeed. AEW, they brought him in, did nothing with him, fuck them for dropping what everybody said was the main event talent.
Yeah, you know what? I think Punk leaving AEW was catastrophic, but I think the worst thing about that, the absolute worst thing about Punk leaving is that Punk left and went to WWE, but he went to WWE and they've treated him well. And the message that sends back is if WWE is willing to work with someone as volatile and someone who was trying to kill the company as much as CM Punk, then I feel confident that that regime has changed and it actually is safe to go back.
Jesse, it is a legit business. They are in the business to make money. WWE is making money. AEW is not. I'm sorry. This $160, $70 million TV deal is the only thing keeping this company relevant and afloat. This company does not make money. They are not in the business to make money. The sheer difference between both companies is Triple H is here to make money and write stories with his writing team. Tony Khan is here to sit in his room by himself and play real-life action figures and hope everybody gets on board and looks at him as the cool promoter in town. That's it. That's it. Clear difference between the both. And the talent is slowly starting to recognize that because 90% of the talent there is not being utilized to the potential that they want to be utilized at. Now, not everybody's going to be successful in WWE because you're going to eventually run into a situation where you go over there and it's going to be bloated over there too. So WWE's got to be careful about who they pick and choose, who they want to come back and who they want to bring on in. But that's the great thing about NXT. When there's no room for somebody on the main roster, NXT could use some top tier guys as well. So there's so much more real estate to go around for everybody where Tony Khan loves to hoard and only has 4 hours of television time.
Yeah, people might be asking themselves, well, what do the talent care if AEW is making money or not? Because their contracts are locked. They're getting paid whether or not TK is getting paid from the networks or Max or anything. They still have their money. Well, the problem comes in is that if you stay with a company that is not making money, if they're continuously in the red, come contract time, how much of that money are you going to retain? How long before they're downsizing? How long before your job is not secure anymore? So you kind of want to be in a company that is making positive steps at least. Even if they're breaking even, AEW's in the red, man. I mean, I know they get this big deal and everything and they can recoup a lot, but at the same time, sales, ratings, merchandise, things do not look good. Nobody wants to be a part of a company where things are on the downfall.
There's only 2%, 3% maybe of the roster that is used on a regular basis or semi-regular basis. Everybody else, it's like a fucking roulette wheel. You don't know what week you're going to be used. Talent doesn't want to sit in the back and then come to the fucking show and come to the venue and then find out that they're not being used. You know, they could make all the money in the world that they want. Sure, go and support your family, give your family the life that they deserve. Fantastic. But at the end of the day, you still want to be used for the talents that you are, and you want the company to utilize your talent to not only make the company better, but to make you better. Nobody wants to sit around doing nothing. Everybody wants to be involved. The industry is ever evolving, and you see the landscape that WWE is creating and changing for professional wrestling. And here people are sitting in catering, waiting and hoping that one day maybe Tony Khan will pick on me like a fucking, kid in class. Or maybe teacher will pick on me today. Who wants to live like that? And then if you say anything out of line, and if you don't do what the boss wants, then he ices you, you're off TV, and then you're never to be seen or heard from again. And if you support your friends, supposedly, then you're iced and you're never to be seen or heard from again. Who the fuck wants to work like that?
Bro, I am hearing that these days, TK is as unapproachable as Vince McMahon was back in his terror days, man. Like, people are just terrified to approach him and say, hey, I don't think this is working. Maybe we should do this, because they don't want to be put on the fucking back burner. So they have to go out there and just suck it up. People are scared to go out there and pitch.
Tony doesn't want to talk to anybody. Tony doesn't want to be involved with anybody. He's hired people to take care of these problems, and then they never get taken care of. And Tony, at the end of the day, is not for the pro wrestler. He's for his own wallet and his own fucking finances, and he shills out all of that money to whoever he wants to keep them happy, because he thinks that everything revolves around money. And Tony's going to sit in his office and ignore everybody and ignore everybody's complaints and avoid everybody, because Tony wants to do what Tony wants to do, and he doesn't want to do what's best for the roster, and he doesn't want to do what's best for the people paying to sit in that arena. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. And no matter how many times people say, JD, you're negative, you got a vendetta against Tony, you make it feel personal. Motherfucker, these people have made it personal with us for the last 3 years. And if you don't like the harsh criticism and the harsh truths that are coming out of our mouths now because of the shit that you're giving back to us, I got a fucking bridge in New York City to sell you, man. I ain't changing my fucking tone until shit changes. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I have this problem with people, and I know there's people here, like the way I'm getting ready to describe. I have a problem talking to people who like bashing AEW just because they are WWE fans and they don't want the company to succeed. I am not in the same boat with those people.
Nope.
I don't sit around and talk about how bad AEW is to people who don't even care about AEW. I have no problem talking bad about AEW with people who I know want to see this company flourish. They want to see this company do great. I want to see both sides. I want to see, for my personal interest, I want to see the talent have two rival companies that they can go work for and support their families. And not, bro, being a pro wrestler is a depressing fucking profession, man. Unless you are on television, you are starving. So to have two companies that are doing well, that you can go work for and make great money, that's what I want to see. Because if one is failing and goes away and the other one is thriving, that means your favorite wrestler is going to be making less money. And that's just economics, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sad state of affairs. We don't work there. I don't have a fucking clue what's going on there, but you could physically see just by what you read and what you see on television, what the environment is backstage, and you just piece the puzzle together. It's like all these different things over the years. You see things just kind of falling into place, and then you come up with this own thing, this own determination about what's going on there, and it's pretty fucking accurate. It is very accurate. And I don't understand all these people, like Jesse said, this toxic positivity. It's the one thing that's killing the company. These people who hate AEW, you could see who hates for the simple fact of hating. Those people don't watch the show. They're out for whatever chump change or whatever pennies Elon's paying, which is not much. I got 60,000 followers on X. I make maybe $30, $40 a month. It's nothing. These people are making nothing to genuinely hate the company for no reason. WWE fans don't watch AEW. There's no reason for them to, because everything that you wanted in AEW, WWE is giving you tenfold. The toxic positivity is killing the company, and then you see it trickle down with the positive creators in the community, and you see it from the positive Twitter accounts on social media. You can't say anything negative about the company and what goes on there. You are labeled the enemy. These people work with Matt Hardy and these podcasts and this and that. They're friends with Dax. They're friends with this. They're trying to get a job there. They're rubbing elbows. They want to be shrewd businessmen and come off like shrewd businessmen. Enough for the positivity. This is what AEW has done. This is the environment that they've created. And you could physically see who's in that bubble just by what they say and how they act on social media. It's fake. All of it's fake. We're real fans. We're here every single week. I sit in this chair when I don't have to give you guys, Jesse as well, give you guys the real take on professional wrestling. We got 3,000 people in here who genuinely fucking care about the product. That is 600 more people than were in attendance for Dynamite tonight. So clearly we're doing something right. Positivity doesn't sell. Honesty sells. Stop being fake and stop giving fake positivity, man. We can see right through that shit. And that's the environment that AEW's created. They don't want any criticism whatsoever. Tough shit.
No. We were here when the product was good, when the product was great. All of the other outlets were praising the product and saying it was great. So were we. When the product started to slip and everything else, other podcasts continued to say that the product was great. We started saying that it sucked. Now, all of a sudden, we are the problem. But here's the thing. How can the product be just as good then as it is now, and the numbers don't say that they are? I don't understand that. If you are not willing to change when things aren't going correctly, they are never going to get better. Ever, 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 ever. And surrounding yourself with a bunch of people who are either A, scared to approach you, or B, are only going to tell you what you want to hear, that is not going to help you improve your product at all. At some point, you're going to, and I know because I heard this from too many different people, but sooner or later, TK is going to have to put the pin down, the coveted pin that he swears he's never going to put down. If he wants this company to make it, he's going to have to put it down. He's tried digging himself out of this creative hole, out of this rut. He's just not capable of doing it. It is not an easy job. Not everyone can do it. I'm not even sitting there claiming that if you give me the job right now, I could fix it all. It's a hard fucking job, bro. You should probably leave it to professionals or someone with some kind of wrestling experience. He's not willing to. From what I'm hearing, it is something that he is holding on to like dear life. He is never going to put down creative. So I don't see how they're ever going to get out of this rut, because it's not the talent. It is purely him and creative.
Guy's living in denial. Nobody can say anything to him because the ramifications of whatever is said there is going to come back and bite them in the ass. People are afraid to speak up. Gee, man, it sounds like there's one problem and one problem only in AEW, and it has nothing to do with the fucking talent. Who's the problem? You guys know who the problem is. His name starts with Tony, and last name ends with Khan.
Ends with Khan. It's the guy who signed the bottom of that public statement when Cody left. CEO, head of creative, AVP, HR, MVP, he is everything that is AEW. And again, we've said this in the past, and we sprinkled it in here and there, but I and most wrestling fans, and we are appreciative of what Tony Khan has given us with his fortune. There are plenty of billionaires out there. Not too many of them are rushing to go start wrestling promotions, and Tony Khan did just that. He gave us another big-time TV-produced wrestling company to watch, but it just sucks now. TK, it just sucks. It is not as good as it used to be. We appreciate you bringing the company to life, But my God, man, please pass it to someone who can keep it alive because it's dying.